Welcome back to Central Florida Spotlight. The citizens for a greater Orange County felt they did everything right, but still won't see their efforts on the November 6th ballot. Representative Scott Randolph is one of the people that actively tried to help get that initiative for sick time on the ballot November 6th. Why did you take this on?
Because we're in a situation where, the economy is recovering. The corporate profits are at record profits. And yet the average worker continues not to have access to earned sick days. Look, and you yourself may have access to that, but when a mother who's struggling has to put their child into daycare even though they're sick because they fear losing their job or they can't get paid, they can't pay their rent. Basically, people are having to choose between caring for their child and feeding their child. And that's not where we should be in America. So when that mother puts that sick child in daycare or takes them to school because they don't get a day off, your child will get sick. Your child will come home sick. You will get sick. We also have a huge tourism industry here. And I don't think we should be gambling with our visitors' health when they come and visit Orlando. We want them to have a good experience here. And so when the studies show that more than half of Orange County residents have no access to any type of earned sick days, we think that it's important that we have some minimum standard here for employers. And don't get me wrong, there are thousands of employers in Orange County that care about their workers and care about this community, many thousands of small businesses, and they offer these benefits already, by the way. And so in addition, we don't want them to be undercut by somebody else. I think it's important that on a competitive playing field, when we have so many businesses who are a part of their community, they're not some big outside corporation from some other state that just happens to have a location here. They are a part of their community. They go to church with their customers, that they care. And I don't want to see them undercut because somebody else can come in and not care. So we're trying to set that minimum standard for caring in this community.
Let's talk about you and your situation as an attorney. As you look at what has happened with the county charter, is there grounds for some legal action against individual commissioners?
There's definitely investigation in that. We're researching that issue, so I can't say, and I don't want to say one way or the other, make some pronouncement not knowing the full legal ramification, but there's certainly a lot of research into that. In addition, it's clear that there needs to be more reforms in the county government. So I think there needs, even though Mayor Jacobs ran on a platform of ethics, clearly the county commission has either not taken that up or it's been abandoned. And so we're also researching a charter amendment for ethics reform in Orange County. Because clearly after what happened on September 11th, we need some ethics in this county.
What about the deadlines? And, those on the other side say, wait a minute, this was pushed on us late. It was by design so that we would not have the time to really work through this. And we talked a little bit about your time frame. But what about getting that as a part of the charter as well? So there are some real clear-cut deadlines.
Actually, I'm fine with that. And if you talk to Bill Cowles, and it's sort of funny, it's like, by the way, there was a charter review commission, 3 meetings after this petition started. Mm-hmm. They took up at least 2 new issues after this petition drive was started. They never took up this issue. So either the county commissioners who are making these political appointments, by the way, one of them being the right-winger who's now writing the language for the county for this, either their political appointments to the Charter Review Commission are ill-equipped to be on a Charter Review Commission and they're just political appointees, which is what's happening, by the way. Because they could have addressed this issue. So it's not necessarily an issue that I don't think needs to be addressed. And it was addressed at the state with constitutional amendments, and there's a very set time frame for people challenging and everything like that. And you talk to the supervisor elections. When this provision was written, it was before federal laws about sending overseas ballots 45 days out, because that's really the deadline that we've run up against with the 45 days, is that he has to send only about 5,000 ballots. So 5,000 out of 630,000 in Orange County had to go overseas starting September 22nd. And so, but that was, that federal law was passed well after this charter provision was passed. So there's no doubt there can be revisions there. But what we have to be very careful of is this charter specifically says that the rights of the people to petition their government are reserved in this charter. And if there's any attempt to make that more difficult and to have less participation by citizens, we should be very, very wary of any such attempt.
Speaking of that, November 6th, there will be 11 amendments on the ballot, and many people may not know this. Those are all put on by the legislature, when most of us would agree that the people should have the opportunity to go through the proper channels, get the signatures, and get things on the ballot so that things can be decided, corrected, fixed, whatever.
And what's amazing is only 60% of the legislature needs to approve each one of those amendments. And the governor gets no say, by the way. That doesn't go to the governor's desk or anything like that. So barely a little bit more than a majority in the legislature gets to put constitutional amendments on the ballot. And you can ask anybody, putting a constitutional amendment on the ballot by initiative now is tremendously expensive and almost impossible. Partly because some of the process that they set up after there were, like minimum wage was on the ballot in 2004. And after that, the legislature decided this is way too, we need to make this more difficult because people are actually starting to have a say in government, and we better not let that happen. And people shouldn't let their politicians do that.